Welcome to Senior Runner. Yes, I'm back, and it's been a long time. I broke my ankle a couple of months ago now, and it's now healed. Started to get back into it. Now's the time that I might start to re-look at getting back into one of the local clubs. That's what we're talking about. See, we're talking about going clubbing. I've always told you that it's really important to join a club if you're trying, if you need that little extra boost, that little extra push, that improvement in your performance, or if it's just I want to use it rather than lose it when you get into my sort of era, the senior runner, which is why we're called Senior Runner, surprisingly enough. But it's trying to make sure that you guys and girls who want to do certain aspects or improve certain aspects of your running can do it in a controlled manner, knowing that you're going to make so much effort and you're going to get so much benefit at the end of the day. And that's what we're talking about. So how do we choose a club? How do we select one that's right for you? Well, it does take a little bit of extra thought. I'll give you my experience as a youngster. Then we'll go through four main ideas of how I see it the best way to choose a club and go and join one and try and get the best out of it for you, which is what it's about. It's about getting the best out of it for you. And then we'll try and do a little bit of summary at the end. So first of all, let me take you back, and it's taking back a long time. I was probably 17, 18 at the time. I'm 60 now. And I remember thinking, I just want to go running. I want to meet people. I want to be friends with people. I want to get out of the hustle and bustle of the old school days where I didn't do very well at all. And try and make friends and try and just have chat with people, have a drink with people, and just have a walk with people, have a run with people just for the fun of running. Now, I chose a local club which at the time had a gold medalist runner on track and field, on track actually, and I used to see him running around the track every week. But they were very much about bringing kids in and trying to develop them into Olympic athletes. Very much about trying to get the best out of those older people and putting them into the local leagues and keeping their club number one in the league. They had to win the league every year. So they were very much push, get the best, get the best, get the best. The thought of actually enjoying yourself was not in their remit. Absolutely out of it completely. So you see, I joined the wrong club. And I don't want you to do the same thing. I want you to choose the right club. So how do we do this? Well, like I said, there's 4 points here. Let's go with point number 1. First of all, the point I didn't do, I want you to learn from, is define what you want and what your particular needs are. So like I said, for me, have friends, have a nice run somewhere, enjoy myself, enjoy running, have a chat, come back, perhaps afterwards have a walk and a chat on the way home, have a drink somewhere. Just basically have fun. When I was 17, 18, 19, I wanted to develop those links locally to go out with a group of people, have fun, have a drink, have a run, and enjoy myself. I didn't want to be an Olympian. Yes, I enjoyed the occasional race, a bit of adrenaline there to try and win a race. Brilliant, but it wasn't what I really wanted. Define what you want. Is it just to use it or lose it? Are you a senior runner like me? Which is why we're called Senior Runner, surprisingly. But realistically, are you just trying to use it or lose it? Are you just wanting to keep yourself at a level? If that's all, then fine. Define it and write it down. If you want to have a little bit of a competition element in there, then fine. I want to go do running. I like to do long distance. I like to do short. I love track and field. Yeah, you'll find me on the track. I'd prefer to be running around the track with a few friends. So friendship, track, a little bit of a competition. competitive element. Try and define all those little bits, because at the end of the day, once you've created that list, whether it be a big list of meeting people, I mean, a little bit of recreation afterwards, have they got a good you want a club with a little bit of after running recreational activities, some going out at night occasionally, having a little bit of a barbecue somewhere, and there, if that's what you want from it and you want it to be a little bit more social, then write it down. And that's important, because number 2 comes in then next, and it's about doing your research and trying to work out what clubs are in your area. Trying to work out what on earth do they concentrate on. For instance, if I'd have done my research, I'd have gone straight to my local club and ask people there. Oh, they're very pushy, very much wanting you to be the best in the UK, very much wanting you to try and get you, especially at my age then, trying to get you into being an Olympian. Of course, when you're young, and possibly when you're older and you sort of become a little bit of not got as many friends, perhaps that's at a point. You can't just go to the clubs and ask people. You don't really. Some people just don't feel good going to that local that little hut there and waiting on a Tuesday afternoon when it's really wet and windy. For a group of people to come up and half a dozen turn up and start running around the field. Do you really want to be asking them, what sort of club are you? It's important, if you do know people who are in the running community, to be able to ask them, what's the local club like? Which club are you in? Do you know any other clubs? And what are they like? Now, how are you going to do this? And this is really important, this. I find the best way is if you go to one of these runs. If you go to a local half marathon run, just go there, stand there at the finishing line and start talking to people, and you notice the shirt and you'll notice the local club name. Go to it, go to someone and ask them, which club do you run for? So you run for XYZ. Yeah, okay, yeah. What are they like? Oh, very much a bit pushy. They do like to try and make you sort of up to Olympic standard, I'm afraid. They haven't really got too much time for the time wasters at the bottom. Or you could go to that club over there. They're similar one. They're just about 2 or 3 miles away, and they cater for more of the older people, and they try and do a few more of the marathons and the half marathons, and I think they've got a good they have a good barbecue in summer. So I hear, and you can ask people and go and see the different clubs that are at that finishing line. And you can gain more information. So doing your research is really important. Yes, you can do your research online, and you can find a little bit about each club online. Each club that has a website, that is, but a lot of the little clubs don't have websites. So it's essential that you find the information from the people that are in the club. How do you do that? Yeah, by trying to go to one of the events that they're in, or go to one of the events that one of their runners is running in, and just talk to the people. So try and talk to as many people as you can and work out where the local clubs are. Look on the internet to see how many local clubs there are. You can find that easy enough. Write them down, and then next to their names, list down what they're best at. What do they really cater for? Do they and if you want, for instance, a little bit of an after life, a little barbecue now and again, a bit of social life with them. See whether you can find out whether they have a social life. Do they run a barbecue every 2 or 3 times during summer? Do they have one of mine used to have a Boxing Day run, King of the Mountain. We used to run up this extremely steep hill on Boxing Day, come back down, go back to the base, and we'd have bacon sandwiches for all and a drink of coffee. Absolutely brilliant. And it got us out of the house on a Boxing Day, and it was thoroughly enjoyable. Not for the running up a hill on Boxing Day, whatever weather it was absolute hell, but the coming back and having a chat and the social side of it was brilliant. So write down what you want, what you define what you want, and then try and translate it into what have I found out about all the local clubs? How do they work? And how does one match the other? Now, once you've found out what the connections are, what you want, and you've listed it down, when you've listed down the different clubs in the area and what they provide, you'll quickly find out that me being being 60 years old, I was going to say over 60 then, me being 60, I just want to make sure I'm using it rather than losing it. And I've just broke my ankle. Perhaps I'd like to get somewhere that knows a little bit about physiotherapy and a little bit about damage limitation and how to rehabilitate when I get injured again, because we will do. I'm at that age, aren't I? So I need to know that club has a good link with physiotherapy, or somebody does it that's in the running club. Somebody's a lot of them are my age. Actually, there's one down the road where I think there's a man and wife there that are the senior marathon runners for. They're in the UK team. As far as the senior runners, they have a senior runner UK team, and they're in it. And so I know that club has brilliant links with the senior community, and that they absolutely cater for your well-being. So that's where I would be listing down what that club has and seeing they are absolutely spot on. Yeah, there's several other clubs, but there's one that's quite high up on getting you to the best pinnacle, and they're also because I move where I live. They also happen to be very similar to my original club, trying to push you into European competitions and things. I'm not into that, so that one gets now moved out, and I look down the list and I match them up. So once you've matched them up, what do you need to do? Well, you need to do number 3, and you need to know what to expect when you go there. Try and make sure that when you go through that door next Wednesday, I know what to expect. I know what I'm going to try and do. I know one or two people who are there, and I can try and fit in as best I can, because we need to know what is it. I mean, do they have a changing room? Exactly. Some people don't feel right getting in, changing at home, getting into the car, driving down there in all their gear, just in case they get there and they didn't know it had been cancelled, and now they're stood there in the middle of a field. This little hut there that's usually open on a Wednesday night is now shut, and there's a little message on the door saying, sorry, it's been cancelled. There's nothing worse. And have I done it? I can't remember. But getting there and realising, it's Boxing Day. Shit, forgot about that. So make sure you know what to expect. Make sure you know it's on. Make sure you know someone who's going there, and make sure that it's not just a quick bang and you're there without being expected. It's nice to go, oh yeah, I knew you said you were coming. It's nice to have that icebreaker as soon as you go. Try and make sure that they know that they know you're coming. Try and make sure that you know what to expect. We've got a changing room. I can take my bag and I can change on site, or I need to get changed, but I can put some stuff on top, and we can take that off and just put it in the cupboard in the school, and we can carry on running. Make sure you know exactly what it is you're going to be expecting when you get there, who you're expecting, who you need to talk to, and it just makes the introduction so much easier. If you hit there with the wrong intention and you start doing things completely different from the people who've done it every week on for the last 6 years, they'll just be looking at you thinking, did nobody tell them that we do it this way? Did nobody tell them that they should put the stuff on before and just cover up, and we'll put the coat and the over trousers in the cupboards, and then you're on a fight, you're on a beating to nothing. You're trying to get back into that into the club. And if you've got a cliquey community there, it's very difficult once you've got into that position to get out of it. So do make sure that you know what to expect, who to expect, and what to do when you get there and how to do it. Absolutely essential, because if you've got a cliquey community like we do here, you get it wrong when you first go there, you're not going to get into that community, and they won't open up to you. Whatever you think and whatever they say to you, they won't. They'll give you a word or two, and they'll be try and be as friendly as they can, but you won't get into that community, and that's what you really need. If that's what you really need, then you're going to be sadly disappointed. So you need to do your homework and make sure that you know exactly what to expect when you've selected the right club. Just one more last thing about that is when you get injured, or if you get injured, hopefully not, but if you get injured, by doing this and knowing and researching the club beforehand, when you get there, you carry on doing your running. 5, 10, 12 months later, you suddenly get an injury because you've done your homework and you've managed to make sure that what you've learnt is correct in the club when you start running. You know exactly who to go to when you get that little bit of a tweak in your calf, because you know that person there who comes every Tuesday, doesn't always come on a Thursday, but sometimes comes on a Sunday for the general run, which is what ours was. You know who to go to. You don't need to ask people, have we got a physio here? You know there is. You've done your homework. You know who it is. It's that person there. And if you're really worried that that's going to happen, and you're especially if you're a senior runner, go there and say, look, I'm okay, but I hear that you're the best at a bit of physio and a bit of rehabilitation. Oh yeah. Me and that guy there. Right, fine. I know now. And then if ever you get injured, you know exactly who to go to, and you don't get any of those awkward moments where you're going around saying, I think I've hurt me calf. I say, is there any physio help? Oh yeah. We all know. You all know Phil. He'll do anything for you on that count. Try not to get. We don't need those moments of trying to get enough confidence, because we're not all confident people. There'll be some people out there hurt your calf and you think, I daren't ask, but I did hear that one of them was, but I daren't ask and make myself look stupid. If I go and say, who is it? And they say, well, we don't have one. Where have you read that one from? So they don't want to ask. So make sure you've got it right at the beginning. You know exactly what to ask for if that's one of the things that you've written down in item 1, because it's absolutely essential. That's one of the reasons why it really is essential to write things down, research, and put that research into knowing what you're going to ask and where you're going to be when you go on that first day. And it is like a first date. I say first day. It's like a first date. And you should use it like a first date. Because number 4 is give it a go. Try those 3. And when you go to number 3 and you go to the club, absolutely give it a go. Give it everything you've got. Make sure you've reached out and you've talked to people. Make sure that you've texted everybody. You're on the social network, so that if it gets cancelled, you'll be emailed, or Facebooked, whatever. But make sure that all the connections are in there, so that he's the club secretary. Contact him by email. Make sure you paid your dues a month, within a month or whatever it is. And if you give him your email, he'll then tell you if it's called off. So make sure you've got all the texts, phone numbers of the important people. Make sure everybody knows that you're going to go there, because, like I said, if you're a little bit shy, you go there and they don't expect you. It can be extremely nerve-wracking to someone who's a little bit shy to get into that group when you've just turned up ad hoc. Because hey, you listened to somebody on the finishing line of Stubbington half marathon, Stubbington 10k actually, isn't it? Stubbington 10k. You were lucky enough to get there. It's always full, and you got to the end and you chatted to a few people, and you thought, I'm going to join that club. You just turning up is just not really the best of ways, especially if you're a bit shy. If you're confident, hey, give it a go, and you perhaps don't need to as much to make sure they know you're there or going there. But it's always handy to just introduce yourself, because what happens if it's cancelled the very first day that you turn up? And some smaller clubs do have the odd day where we can't cover the kids because we haven't got two adults to per child to make sure that they're all safe, or they won't got the requisite number of adults per child. So the children's one got cancelled, and you were gonna bring your kid down, or the adult one's being cancelled because there was 4 or 5 of them have gone on holiday, and that only leaves another 3 or 4, and we didn't think it was worth opening up for 3 or 4 people, so we've all agreed to. The 3 of them have agreed to go, cross country in it the following day, and I've seen that as well. So make sure that you are down on those lists, that they do know you're coming, because it does help absolutely. This is where the important thing is. You've got there, you try your hardest, you try your best, not only in the running, but in the talking to people as well. Do remember, it's a club. It's about gaining their respect and gaining information from them. There's no use going in there like a bull in a china shop and saying, well, you're not doing that right, you're not doing that right, you're not. You've got to try and respect the way that club has been run way before you arrived. Try not to upset the apple cart. Try and fit in as much as you can, even if you're one of those blokes who just sees everything wrong, and that they're doing it wrong. You're probably right, but you want to say something. Say nothing on that first day. You need to try and blend in. Whichever type of personality you are, you need to blend in. And once you've tried your hardest, once you've tried your best, if that's all you said in number 1, that you wanted to just get better and improve yourself, then fine, that's what you've done. You've done what you wanted to do. But when you've finished, you need to ask yourself, did I enjoy it? Was it good? Did I get from it what I expected to get? If I didn't, then is there something that I could have done to change that? Can I ask one of the other guys or girls around here to give me a suggestion in how I could improve that, because I didn't quite feel that I improved today on that, or we didn't quite attack it. Do we attack it on a different day? Find out, because you might not have done what you expected to do on that day, but it might be that they only do that on every second Wednesday of the month. It might be that you want a little bit of physical training, or you thought that you might do a little bit of physical training before the jog, or at some point during the session, and they might say, well, yeah, we do actually do it in winter. In winter we used to go inside, you see, and that's when our physical training used to come in, and we used to do all the different weights and boxing training and all this lot. So ask, if you didn't get what you thought you were going to get, ask at the end. Don't just go away thinking, it didn't quite work. No, I didn't expect that. I expected something else. If you expected something else, then that's the time to say, well, I expected a little bit more of this. And if they can say, if they turn around and say, well, we don't do that, then that's fine. You found out that club may not be for you. You may need to find another club that has that in it, if that's what was in your first list of items. So it's a little bit of judging now, a little bit of getting on the seesaw and thinking, well, it gave me this, and perhaps going through that first list and ticking off, we got this, we know they do that every second Thursday of the month, whatever, and you can tick off that list. And the more you can tick off that list, the happier you should be about saying, would I go back? And if the answer is yes, then great. Do remember though, when you finish the run, a lot of people here will be saying it's about the social side of it. Yeah. So when you finish the run, don't just let everybody disappear and walk off. You'd go off in one direction, they go off to their car. Stand talking. Ask a few of them. What do they do? When does this happen? Do we ever get together for a barbecue or a drink, or does anybody ever have a quick coffee of an afternoon? Well, I think those two do sometimes, and we all have a barbecue on when it gets sunny occasionally. Yeah, but it'll be up on the board in the hut. Do remember to ask those questions, and it is important, because if you've put that in your definition, then you jolly well want to make sure it's happening, because you want to tick it off, don't you? So try and make sure that you've given it, not only given it a go, but you've given it a go, realised whether it's given you what you expected. If it hasn't given you what you expected in the run, in the actual event, then you can ask people and start to I say put your head above the parapet a little bit. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more for the assertive person. If you're a little bit shy, it's a little bit difficult, this bit, but you do have to try and do it, I'm afraid. If you didn't get what you wanted, go and ask what happens, and if it's actually done somewhere. Do we do it on different days? Do I have to come on a Tuesday instead of a Thursday? And they may just say, actually, we do more of that on a Tuesday than Thursday. You perhaps come to the wrong day. You should try coming to a Tuesday, or come to both. And that's probably what they'll say. It's just on a different day, and you've come on a Thursday. You should have come on a Tuesday. Well, come to both. Come to both, see what you think. And I would always say go to both. I was used to do 3 days. Yeah, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, Thursday, and a Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, and a Sunday. Do all three. See what you think. You can always knock one off if it's not really for you. Yeah, that Sunday was always 10 mile plus. It was always long distance through places we could quite easily get lost in if you get left behind. So if that's not for you, and you're wanting the sort of medium runs, shortish runs just to keep fit, you knock Sunday off. If you want the long runs, hey, I enjoy the Sunday, we'll go for the Sunday. We might knock Tuesday off because it's strength training and short, sharp sprints. Maybe that one's the one you'll knock off, but you'll do it at the end of that session that you've been in, and you'll make your choice. And then just remember, as the final summary, if you're wanting the social side, do remember to ask when you leave, or ask while you're all getting ready to start the run. I started it because I wanted somewhere with a little bit of not just running, but a little bit of a social side to it. I didn't just want to be coming in running 6 miles and then going home. One or two of them might just offer you a bit of advice. Actually, there is one in 6 weeks' time, or me and Jackie are meeting in the cafe tomorrow if you want to come down and have. It's just that sort of thing that you have to ask at some point. I prefer to ask it at the end. However, if you've got time to ask it at the beginning, ask at the beginning. But you've got to ask it at some point. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, and hopefully it does help you. It is all about trying to join the right club. I joined the wrong club. Don't do that. It really does. It can take a lot out of you, and it can destroy your confidence. Having people pushing you, and when I came last in one of the races, I was 16, and they put me in with the 25 plus age group, and I was like, they're miles older than me, and of course I came last. I was the only one of my age, and of course all eyes turned away from me because I'm not going to be an Olympian, am I, after all? And that's what that club was about. So I'd gone to the wrong place, and all of a sudden people don't talk to you, and you're not really what they want in this club, and you know, you've got to choose the right club with the people around you that you need to get what you wanted in that definition that you've done right at the beginning. So do define it, do your research, do know what to expect on that first day, and do know what to expect from the club as a rule. And then try and give it a go. And by giving it a go, we mean make sure you've done that research and taken people's names, given them the right person, your email address, joined them on Facebook, so that if anything gets closed down and it doesn't happen this Tuesday when you were going to go there, you know about it. And make sure you tick off everything at the end. Have I done this? Did I get that? Did I get that? Did I get that? Oh, I wanted a social side. Did I ask the question? Yeah. And if you didn't, go again. Make sure you ask the question. Hopefully that's helped you. Senior Runner here for one more hopefully informative video. If you did like it, do subscribe, and I'll see you for more the next time. Senior Runner over and out.